believe we have any visitors today. Have I missed anyone? Okay, it's just us, the family. That's perfect. I just wanted to mention, we have a few sisters that aren't able to come to Relief Society, that aren't able to join us at church. So we are going to try to film our lessons and share those with them. So just a heads up that that's what that is, so you know. And hopefully that doesn't make anyone nervous, but I just wanted to let you know that we're just doing that just for a few sisters that can't make it.
Still participate.
Yes. Doesn't mean you can't comment. The only announcement I believe today, unless I'm missing something, is that Sharice had her baby, and they announced that in the sacrament meeting, but we're so thrilled for her. She looked like that needed to happen. Poor girl. Oh, what a relief. Aren't we happy? Baby's here. Everyone's well. She's happy. Baby's great. And we have a sign-up sheet for dinners. If any of you are willing to help, thank you so much. Everyone is always so generous to bring meals in this ward, and we're so grateful for that. MC will be giving our lesson today, and I just wanted to thank her again for being willing to do this. This is a topic that is her calling, as well as a great message that we all need to hear. So thank you so much, MC, for doing that. Thank you. We finally received the lesson manuals. So anyone that wants a hard copy, here they are. We probably won't ever get them again, so grab them while they're hot. They were very hard to come across. Yes, yes. So here they are. Please grab those afterwards if you need these tonight. We'll get that in so you'll have space to remind you.
Well, I'm not a big fan of teaching. It makes me really nervous. As my family, weird things happen. Like when I go to put my perfume on, I spray it in my eyes and things like that. Like I get really nervous. I was really excited to talk about visiting teaching, which I know for some people, you know, you get mixed reactions about visiting teaching. I've found as I've had this calling being the coordinator that sometimes you'll see people and they'll feel, you know, kind of guilty and, oh, I'm just so bad at it, or I'm just trying to get there. And then you'll talk to some people who, you know, you'll hear these heartwarming stories, you know, and so you kind of, you know, hear the full spectrum. And so I've definitely kind of evolved in my testimony of visiting teaching. There was a time, oh my gosh, Sarah, I didn't recognize you with your new hair. I like it. I was looking for you. She's one of my supervisors. And actually, you guys, I just have to say, I have the best supervisors. Anyway, I don't know if you know how this whole thing works, but like I gather all the information from my supervisors, and they're the ones calling and saying, hey, did you get it done, and stuff. And sometimes people don't respond to them, and you should respond to them because they're so nice. They are just the kindest, just sweetest people. So be nice to them. They don't want to hound you, but they, you know, we're just trying to get our jobs done. So anyway, and I probably, you know, spent a number of years avoiding the texts and the calls myself. So I have definitely evolved in this process. And I remember when I first moved to Boulder, I had really small kids, you know, all elementary school aged kids, super busy. And I had one of those like really stalwart like visitors. And actually it's so sweet because her name was Sister Loveday. But she was just gonna love me every day. I mean, she just was gonna come and visit me all the time. And I hadn't quite caught the vision of visiting. So I was always saying, oh, I'm fine. I'm good. Like, yes. What is it? Someone was telling me, I love this. Lori Hathaway, VT good. I could have been one of those kind of people, right? And stuff. But she really wanted to visit me, and so over the months time, I finally had to succumb and let her come and visit me, and it turned into such a great experience for me. She cared so much about me. I remember I was trying to, you know, get a little healthy, and she was a really good baker. She was like the one who always did the rolls or the cinnamon rolls or the bread, you know, and she was really good at it, but she'd never done it a lot with whole wheat. And I was trying to, you know, I'm trying to be, you know, and she brought me the most delicious loaf of whole wheat bread, and it was like, it could have been white bread. It was so good. And I come to find out later, she had done like 20 recipes just for me, just to like let me know, you know, that she loved me. And so I kind of, my heart started softening, and I started, you know, grasping what visiting teaching was really about. So I've evolved over the years, and I'm sure that's why I have this calling. But I do think it's kind of the name of visiting teaching. I'm just wondering if we could tweak it, because it feels like a lot of pressure, right? Like you have to go teach. Like, what if you don't have a degree, or what if they're really smart? You know, you have to teach them something, and it's just a lot of pressure. And so anyway, I've been thinking about, like, is there something like a little more friendly, a little less pressure, or something like that? And I actually came across this video that I wanted to show you. It isn't, you'll see soon that it's not put out by the church, but the message is just beautiful, and I honestly feel like it kind of captures the idea of visiting teaching. So
carpenters know that the building block of a structure is the joist. A joist is just a special, strong beam that supports a greater structure. Sometimes a joist has to carry such a heavy load that it starts to weaken. When that happens, the carpenter connects another board to the left of the weakening board, and if that doesn't strengthen it enough, she connects another board to the right. With that extra support, the joist is strong enough to carry almost anything. And guess what this process of joist strengthening is called? Sistering. You can't build a strong, beautiful, complicated structure, whether it's a building or a life, without sistering. Women are special, strong people who hold up the world, but sometimes life's load gets too heavy and hard for us to carry alone. I don't think the heart is a mistake. I don't think the heart means we've done anything wrong. I think the heart is purposeful so that we'll need our sisters. If everything feels too heavy right now, it might mean that you need a sister to your left and a sister to your right to help steady you and strengthen you and hold you together. It might be time for a sister joist. My life is just a dance between being sistered and sistering others. And my favorite thing about being part of a sister joist is that I don't have to say the right thing. I just have to stand there and be strong. Sistering, it's the best part of life. Because when I'm weak, then I'm strong. Find your sister joists and be a sister joist.
Anyone can relate to that?
I just liked the phrases that were used about, having one on your left, one on your right, or you don't have to say anything, it's just standing there and being strong. I just think there were some really great phrases that I want to go back and write down.
I like how it said, hard is purposeful. Hard things happen, but shouldn't look at it like, oh, why did this happen to me? Maybe there's a reason, so we do rely on others or people or whatever.
I like the visual of sometimes you're the one in the center with two holding you up, and other times you're one on the side. We all have different roles at different times.
We all have different roles, yeah. So, cute Sarah Compass, one of my former young women, she helped me. I called her because I wanted to put together a little visual for you guys about sistering. And so she did, and it was so nice. And I'm going to pass them out right now so that you can look at them while we're talking. So, how does visiting teaching or sistering, how does it look different than 50 years ago.
Well, I think probably, I know, more women were at home all the time with their children. They were, people didn't have, careers as nearly as much. And, you know, it just, I don't know how it would have, I'm just kind of how it would have been teaching, but yeah, you know, people were home and,
Well, and it used to
be easier to connect with.
Yeah, well, and you know, it used to be that it was to collect money too. You know, they went around and the sisters, when it first started, they noticed there were needs, and and so they set up visits and things, but they also collected money to distribute to people who needed it, and that's kind of how it started early on. It's interesting because as I have you know, looked at different organizations, I see organizations all the time that look just like Visiting Teaching. There's a organization in Boulder called There with Care, and it's for people who have children who are sick and things, and they need meals, diapers, rides for them. I'm thinking, oh, there's Visiting Teaching right there. You know, this video, Visiting Teaching, right? You know, it reminds me. But you know, there's actually been a change to the handbook not too long ago. And I got a lot of my lesson from a talk that Elder Holland actually gave to the priesthood about being emissaries, about home teaching, but it applies so much to what I'm talking about today. Nancy, can I get you to read what he says about?
Elder Holland, while working through our schedule to visit all homes, which may take some months to accomplish, we would make other kinds of contact with the individuals and families on our list via any of the means the Lord has provided. Certainly we would watch for our families at church and, as the scriptures say, would speak one with another concerning the welfare of their souls. In addition, we would make phone calls, send emails and text messages, even tap out a greeting through one of the many forms of social media available to us. To help address special needs, we might send a scriptural quote or a line from a general conference talk or a Mormon message drawn from the wealth of material on LDS.org. In the language of the First Presidency, we would do the best we could in the circumstances we faced with the resources available to us.
So, have any of you tried any of these methods out? Any, you know, had some success with, you know, I know it used to be talked about the end of the month, reading a lesson they've already read, you know, sitting down formally you know, with them. You know, has anyone tried some of these other ideas? Found some success? Sarah sent me an email, so and she was just saying, you know, a lot of times what she'll do is if she'll read something like an article or quote or you know, something, and she'll think of one of her sisters and she'll just, you know, send it off to her. Has anyone tried some of those more unconventional? Yeah.
My daughter-in-law started this with all the girls in the family, but once a week we take turns sending out an inspirational message Monday morning, whether it's a scripture or something from LDS Living or a talk from one of the general authorities, just something uplifting, something that gives strength and inspires. And it has been a great thing for our family because it's brought us closer together.
And is that something you could do with your visiting teaching group? Something like that? You know, so my sister and my mom, right when we moved here, my parents relocated to this area, and my mom hadn't been super active, and she had just a book dropped off after they were reading the Book of Mormon, and they were doing it systematically in a ward, and her visiting teacher just dropped it off. My mom just spoke to her, she read it, now she's like super active, like plays in the Motab orchestra active, like she's like really, you know, and that was just the sister dropping something off for her. And then my Olivia, who's actually in your sister's ward, she her husband isn't active, and she moved out to this area, and she had this visiting teacher who would just, you know, drop off things here and there, send her text things. And at first, Olivia, you know, she was just like, oh, you know, she's just, you know, doing this to me all the time. And I was like, wow, that'd be scary to, like, if Olivia, you know, because she's my sister, I know I'm like, wow, that would make me really nervous. If, you know, but she just kept trying. This brave sister just kept trying. So fast forward, you know, a year and a half, and I'm sitting in Relief Society with Olivia, who's now become active, and she taps on the shoulder of the woman in front of her, who turns around, and Olivia says, "This is my teacher, and she's why I'm here now." So then, just one more kind of link to that story is that I had actually been assigned a woman to visit in Boulder who was a similar situation as Olivia, and she'd actually gone to the University of Utah, was a swim coach. She coached Chloe, was one of the coaches on Chloe's swim team, and she was a true coach in every sense of the word. I mean, she was intense, very strict, had a loud voice, and I was assigned to, and was inactive, I was assigned to visit her. And I just remember just thinking, how, like, I'm scared of Stacy, like, what will she do to me, you know, and I don't know, and I'm not even, like, she's super cool, I just was, like, very worried, but it just kept, after I met Olivia's, sister, I just thought, I just have to go and get uncomfortable, right, I'm just gonna have to go, and just try to text her and say, can we swing by, and much to my surprise, Stacy was like, that'd be great, come on over with your companion. It totally, anyway, what was really cool about it is that Stacy, the way she saw it, and everyone's different and things like that, but she kind of saw herself as active. She felt really active, you know, and I think in her heart she was. It might have been like your typical check off the roll act, but she was she was so happy to have me come, and so I just thought, and then a lot of, okay, so one more story, and then I really have to let you guys talk, so start thinking about So Jeff, when he goes back to Boulder, he helps coach the swim team, and he has stayed in touch with Stacy, and her son wanted to play ward ball, and she said, you know, Katie, if you're going to play ward ball, you've got to go to the ward and go to church. So they've been going to church now. So, you know, it's just, you never know what's going to happen. You know, we might have to get a little uncomfortable. If you see on your little flyer, I remember, you know, Andrew gave when he talked about going and doing, you know, our ward theme to go and do, and how he said sometimes it's a little awkward, but it's okay. We're big girls, right? We can handle that awkwardness, right? A little rejection. We're built for tough things, right? We can handle that. And you never know in the whole scheme of things what's going to happen. You know, it's almost just like, well, just throw it out there and show up and see what happens. So anyway,
I actually have kind of a testimony of visiting teaching, and I myself am surprised at it. But in a previous ward, I was assigned to this woman who just intimidated me, and I mean, she was active and everything, but just very, like, everything was all together, and she just felt like light years older than me and cooler and better, and so I was her visiting teacher for a little while, and then she was mine for a little while, and we didn't have any other callings or circles that ran together. That's the only way we knew each other. And one morning, it was just one of those, like, completely God's hands. My husband's computer was in the kitchen and turned on, and the kids were all ready for school, and lunches were made, and it was years ago, so, like, you didn't check your email every day. It wasn't on your phone. And my brother was on his mission, so I only checked on Mondays, and this was a Friday. But I happened to check the email, and she had put out this email saying, you know, my family's ready to adopt, and, you know, they kind of do that call to arms. I was the connection that got this woman the baby that she ended up with. They didn't find each other on LDS family. Boxes were wrong, and they wouldn't have been connected. And just through this email and who I forwarded it to, and I thought, gosh, this woman who initially terrified me and I never would have talked to if I didn't have to, I was able to tell this birth mother, this is a really neat lady.
Yeah.
You know, you should check this out. And so yeah, it's terrifying, and there's bad stories to go along with the good, but I'm really grateful for that experience, and it is because of visiting teaching that I had that.
Yeah. Nice.
example. She's my visiting teacher, and I know how much she loves me. If she can't see me, she leaves something, or she sends me a text, and you really appreciate it. You really, really do. And I'm not as good as she is at doing that, but somebody that's just faithful and faithful every month. You know how much they care.
Thank you.
I was that. When I being visiting taught, I always needed somebody to come. I always needed visiting teachers to come regularly and, that sort of thing, and be conscientious, and it makes such a big difference, so I and my partner be regular for these people that we go to see. And it's just keeping the connection and letting people know that you care about them and they're in your mind. They're thinking about you.
Yeah. And what I love about these examples, they're all really, really different, right? The way that they do it and the way they approach it. It could be helping someone with a need, or it could be that regular, visit. But how do we figure out how we visit teach and what we should be doing? How do we?
I'm not gonna answer that question. I visit teach Joan Smith, and believe me, she visit teaches me. I mean, I go over there, and I always look at her and no one's visiting. I'm visiting you, but really, you're visiting. So I come out of Joan's house with much, much more than I ever take.
What I love about that is it's connections like we're talking about. And it's not necessarily people we would see or have connections with otherwise. And I think I like I have a testimony of prayerful consideration of who should visit teach whom. And I really have felt that. I think you felt that in that direction. And I think sometimes we can't figure out why am I visiting that person. But these connections are amazing. And you can learn so much from different people. And then you have another sister that you understand and know and can turn to.
Right, and you might not know initially when you look at your paper, why this person, or why I had this sister once. Why is are you sure? Here's the reasons why maybe not. But and then maybe 4 or 5 days later, I got an email saying, you know what? I know Laura's inspired. I'm gonna just go with this and do it, and see what happens. And just to go and trust that it's just show up and see what happens. And then Jan.
Sometimes it isn't immediate, I don't think. I mean, this is like 40-something years ago. I was a visiting teaching to a gal who was and then a partner. We kind of ended up being visiting teachers to each other. And there was 3 of us. And we thought, one day we just said, this is, because we were all working, we all had all this stuff going on. So we just went to lunch once a month. We just went to lunch and we all had kids who knew each other. They were dating each other. And we could, kind of figure, it was fun. And, but yet we had some, you could tell something to because you knew the situation. Like that. Well, last Monday I was at lunch with those same women. And same thing. Now we're talking about grandkids, great grandkids, passing away. It's just something special that evolved from visiting teaching. And the waiter said, we just kind of looked at us like, okay, what's going on here? We said, well, we've been doing this for 40-something years.
40-something years.
Lunch, we started lunch and we went to dinner because it was, and then this is saying we just do it for like birthdays now, but it's so comforting to know that through the years we've been able to help each other.
Yeah.
It's not just, it wasn't just a college.
Yeah.
You get to feeling
Ministering.
about your sisters.
Ministering angels.
Yeah.
And
whether they're in our award for how many years, but just, you know, that feeling that you get with people that you can connect with.
Yeah, connections. I'm hearing that a lot. Dan.
I want to say amen to Bonnie's comment.
I love it. Amen. This is great. Yeah.
When we go visiting, teaching, my partner and I, we don't always give a lesson because the lady we're visiting is also a visiting teacher, so she's got the lesson. But the friendship and the bond that we have formed over the years, just visiting, seeing what's happening in their lives, you know, seeing how they're doing, what's happening with their kids, their grandkids, letting them know that we care and that we are concerned about them makes a big difference.
Someone to help hold you up. Yeah. So, let's see. Can you read this quote by Elder Holland?
This is by Elder Holland. It says, "Brethren,"
But sisters, yeah.
sorry, sisters, the appeal I'm making tonight is for you to lift your vision of home teaching. Please, in newer, better ways, see yourself as, I don't want to say this word, emissaries.
Emissaries.
Emissaries
I butchered it earlier today, yeah.
Emissaries of the Lord to his children. That means leaving behind the tradition of a frantic law of Moses, like end of the month calendar in which you rush to give a scripted message from the church magazine that the family has already read. We would hope rather that you will establish an era of genuine, gospel-oriented concern for the members, watching over and caring for each other, addressing spiritual and temporal needs in any way that helps.
So I love that in Law of Moses, like, yeah, you know, so this is more, I feel like the church is really going that way in a lot of things, right? It's keeping the Sabbath day a delight, you know, it's not how long you're wearing your church clothes or how many things, you know, it's saying what makes you delighted on the Sabbath. I think that's with visiting, teaching, or sistering, or whatever. What makes it a delight, you know? What can we be doing? And so I found this on Pinterest. It's 5 weird ways to be a better visiting teacher. And it's really funny. This lady is like, but she talks about like things like wait until the last day of the month to report. So, do they? I mean, yeah, but some people they do it. Yeah, no. Why would it be? Why would it not be weird? Or why would it be weird? Why do you think she? What do you think is behind that? Just in case, like, you do it the 5th, and then check, but what if you're watching over it, right? Yeah.
I was going to say, you might have more association during the month, and then you might have more to report. You know, everything's great, and by the way, so-and-so did this or that, or whatever. You might, given your report, happened since you reported. If you're one of those people that really get it done at the first of the month, I'm just envious. But if you get it done, but
there's nothing wrong with that, unless you're like, check, okay, I'm done, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of that's what they're saying, you know? It's like the whole, it's not this division of monthly time checks, right? This is like, this person is part of you, they're part of your heart, they're part of your prayers, they're part of, so anyway, I like that, and then it said, this is funny, stalk the ladies you teach. Right? So, I wish, if it were appropriate, but it wasn't. I have this really funny song called I Want to Marry My Stalker, and it's really funny. But it's just like, you know, up in the tree, or, you know, things like that. But no, it's just, she's just saying things like, you know, follow them on Pinterest or Instagram, or text them, or, you know, put it in your phone to, you know, call them, things like that, stalk them. So anyway, skip the message. We kind of just got the gist of that there, which you don't, you can give the message. It's okay. You know what this message is about, really? It's about setting you free. Setting you free to follow what you think is right, your heart, what you can bring to the table as an individual, as a daughter of God, as, you know, as that person visiting teaching, and then what your teaching needs. That's what this is all about. We really just want to, okay, this is a good one, but if you teach me, don't listen to this one. Stop bringing cookies. No, keep bringing me cookies. But she's just saying you don't have, she's kind of, again, said you don't have to, I came this close, I went to 2 stores, they're out of the Dove bar, you know, to the hearts. I'm like, oh, it's Valentine's, so cute. And then I'm like, okay, well, skip the treats, it's a crunch, okay. All right, it'll just be me, it'll be, you know, less calories. But obviously you can still bring cookies if you want to, but it's just saying you don't, it's, you know, this ain't your grandma. visiting teaching anymore, right? This is like the new era. We're ushering in this, the love, the higher law. That's what this is about. And then, okay, treat everyone differently. We kind of touched on that, and you guys have given some good examples. Okay, this is really funny. Jeff thought this was hilarious. Never ask, is there anything I can do for you? It's a cop-out. Live the higher law. Do unto others as they would have done unto themselves. Figure out their needs and meet them. Don't just ask the standard question when you know the socially traditional response is, no, I'm fine, and then you run into, grab a box of peanuts and you're crying. So anyway, I love that. Probably not you guys, just probably me. But anyway, okay, so then I wanted to touch briefly, because I also think this is kind of a taboo, touchy subject, and I debated whether I would bring it up or not, but I want to talk about it because I think it's important. Why do we report? Why do we have this whole structure set up? I mean, I can show you the webpage where I type in what's happening in our ward, and I mean, it's amazing, ladies. It's very organized, and I can look at it by companionships. I can look at it by individuals. I can look at percentages. Why do we report? And yeah, go ahead.
I think it helps our leaders know our touch points being met. Who's being seen, where are needs being met. As a former Philly Society president, that report was valuable. I could look at it and know all my little old ladies were being seen regularly. And so I didn't have to worry every night if one of them had a terrible need that I wasn't aware of. I knew there were eyes on the ground helping me know that my vulnerable sisters' needs were being met. And I don't think it's because we're getting a report card. I think it's just a tool to make us really effective in serving and loving and stars.
Right. Did I see another hand? Sure.
I was going to say the exact same thing. It's such a tool for the bishop. I mean, he's the father of this ward, and he cannot be at all of our homes. Can he, Christy? I mean, he really can't. Right. And we are his eyes and our ears. And if we're really prayerful about our sisters, we will know what they need, and then they'll know that we're thinking about them, and then they'll tell us, and then we can help.
Yeah, I love that eyes and ears on the ground. That's what the visiting teachers are. And who was it? Was it Nan Ellsworth was just saying, if everyone were reporting and doing it, and it was kind of running the way we're aiming for it to run and things, then that would, the bishop, think about how much more time he could spend with, the youth, or, those kind of things. And then, okay, I hope you don't mind, Leslie, I'm going to share this because it was so funny. Leslie's like, if everyone did their visiting complete the way it's supposed to, church maybe could be 1 hour. Can we get that into the No, that's not doctrine. No one, it's just not happening. Okay, it's just fun. It's not happening, so yeah. But anyway, okay, and then, so, Elder Holland. So what counts? What counts as a visiting, does this visiting, teaching, does that count? What counts? Elder Holland, now as for what counts as visiting teaching, every good thing you do counts. So report it all. Indeed, the report that matters most is how you have blessed and cared for those within your stewardship, which has virtually nothing to do with a specific calendar or a particular location. What matters is that you love your people and are fulfilling the commandment to watch over the church always. So, report it all. Report everything you're doing. I have a sneaky feeling that what you're doing is a lot more than what my report is showing. And so I'm just going to plead for you to welcome your supervisors' texts and requests for what you're doing. No judgment at all, but when we don't hear from you, we're just going to mark it as not visited. And then you can just imagine our visiting president and the bishop, when they see numbers in the 50 percentile, they're feeling worried and they're feeling concerned. And so just, there's don't feel guilty. I want you guys to feel a teeny tiny bit guilty, only because I want you to feel table for your gifts and then figuring out what your sisters need. I think walking is nice. If anyone, because you know they say the brain and the bilateral motion, you know, it really gets you kind of talking and thinking and stuff. So you know, walking. Lunch is good too, you know, every other or something to work off the lunch. Or does anyone have some other things that they've just tried, or any questions? Do you know who you're supposed to visit or report to? I know that there's been some changes in, I think the calling was empty for a while, but we're really working so hard to get everything clear, that you know who you're supposed to visit, just any questions or thoughts or anything? Okay.
I was going to say occasionally, and it doesn't happen often, but occasionally, because of other people I visit have really busy schedules, and maybe we won't get all three of us at the same spot, or I'll call and she'll say, I'm just not available, you know, just visit with me on the phone. And I mean, I may be on the phone with her for 15 or 20 minutes, and she'll say, now, Myra, make sure you just call this good, because it's been a great visit. You just didn't have to come here, because I'm not going to be here in 10 minutes anyway. I'm going to be gone. And I think we have to give ourselves some credit for that, because we've made the contact. They know we care. And I mean, I don't do it all the time, but occasionally, that's a break.
It counts.
Yeah,
It
it sure
counts.
is.
Yeah, a card in the mail counts. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, so I'm going to end a little bit early, because I'm hoping if you haven't had a chance to visit your person, we're here at church, we're all together. If you want to just take a couple minutes to chat and catch up, and then make sure to let us know about that. We really want to hear about it. I can tell you, just in all seriousness, in Boulder, I was in a Relief Society president, 4 different Relief Society presidencies, and these are sisters just like good sisters, good heart, you know, and stuff. But they were like, I mean, these sisters were either, I don't know if we're so hard on ourselves with what we can and can't report here. We're just like heavily laden with what we can. I think just set yourself free. We're gonna get out in the 90s, and then like relieve our bishop, relieve our Relief Society. We're gonna help, you know, be the eyes and ears on the ground, make those connections. Everything else, I know we can do it. I know this program is inspired of the Lord. I see this program, people trying to, you know, pick up on it all over the place. And we've had it for, I mean, how many years? The Relief Society organization is the longest and oldest organization in the world. Sarah?
Sorry, I know you're ending, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. Like when we talked earlier this week, I looked at my phone, like, we just talked for like 25 minutes about visiting teaching. I thought so weird, but I just love how excited you were, and it made me more excited. But I just love like the one heart at a time, and I think of like all the sisters who I taught with, or who I've taught, or who's taught me. My love has grown so much. I think like in this life, if our goal is to expand our love and grow that way, like we just need to do it one at a time, you know. And so yeah, I'm more motivated, and I do love visiting teaching. But yeah, thanks for your.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for reminding me too, because we've talked a lot about just how it's just one little bit at a time. So yeah.
I used to visit Teach with Sarah, and she is amazing. This is a good calling for her. I just wanted to say, from being on the other side of the fence now with our calling, we so appreciate you doing this, but also we so appreciate hearing back not just a number, but some information. It's so fun for us to hear this thing is going, this person's having surgery, or this person, there's a great accomplishment that just happened in this family, or if there's anything significant that you can share, that you can pass back through your supervisors, that can be known through the ward, or that needs can be met in that way. We are just so grateful for that information, and we love to celebrate things and wrap our arms around those that need it. So just know that this information is hopefully falling in hands that we can assist too, or we can love too, or we can celebrate as well. So share all that you can when you report.
And it ties us all together, right? It ties us all together. Did anyone tie together? Yeah. Okay, the word theme, I just love it. Let's go and do together, sharing the light and love of the Savior in faith, charity, humility, and diligence. I mean, if that doesn't give you kind of a guide for where to start, I don't know what does. I think this is wonderful. I love you, sisters. I love being back here with you. I think you're wonderful. I did have actually something kind of serious to end with here. Okay, it is my prayer that, I knew I'd get like super hyper, so I wrote this at the end to kind of bring it down. Okay, so it's my prayer that we'll find whatever way as sisters we can be on the errand of angels and a minister to each other, sistering each other, and supporting each other. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you so much, Nancy. That was just wonderful. She is
Amazing, isn't she? We're so lucky to have her back. Our closing song is it I'm a Child of God? Do I remember that correctly? I am a Child of God, thank you, on 301. And then Nita.